Hey all, Chris Bassett here, and I'll be showing you how I installed 3-tab shingles over my existing shingles. Let's get into it. So let's start with a little surface prep. I took a broom to the roof, cleaned up all the debris, any broken or damaged shingles that were, making the surface uneven. Try to clear those out, get rid of those. There's also a little bit of moss growing on the north side of my roof, so get rid of that. I'd also like to address most people's opinions about laying shingles over shingles, and it's a bad idea. I wanted to save time and money, and 2 layers of shingles is fine by code in most places. I also saved money by sourcing my shingles from Facebook instead of buying them brand new from a store. A few of the other tools you'll need is a utility blade, tape measure, I got some roofing tar, a hammer, and then I used 1 1/2 inch long galvanized roofing nails. I think I used around 8 pounds. So another really easy thing about laying shingles over shingles is you can copy the existing pattern and have no problems laying the shingles on top of the roof. If you were doing this from the start on plywood, you'd need to take measurements and then account for spacing and everything. But here, I'll just go ahead and take measurements of the spacing between the shingles, the placement of the shingles, and then copy that, and everything should lay nice and evenly on the roof. And when it gets to the peak, you won't have any issues with it not overlapping and all the proper spacing and everything. So my garage is 26 foot 6 inches long, so I'll need 9 strips of shingles, and then you cut the last 6 inches off with the utility blade. A common practice is to use a starter strip at the very bottom to start the shingles. I'm going to use a little roof tar in place and just cover the edge, and then that way the shingles will adhere and they won't lift up when there's wind or anything. After you put sufficient roofing tar on the edge, just kind of rub the shingle back and forth, push it into the adhesive surface. That way you got a good stick. Alrighty, let's talk about the nailing pattern. Common practice is about 1 inch away from each edge, and then between 2 to 4 nails in the middle for a total between 6 and 4 nails per shingle. Whether or not you put 4, 5, or 6 nails depends on your area. If you live in an area with high wind, you're going to need 6 nails. Also, nail inside the nail zone of the shingle. It's a thicker part of material. When I took a measurement of the staggered distance between the rows of shingles, it was between 5 inches and 5 1/4 inches wide. This was enough to cover up the nail of the previous row. This is important because when you get to the peak of the roof, it could cause problems. I'll show that at the end of the video. So just showing the very first row, the first edge is tarred, everything's nailed, and now we're to the edge of the roof. We're going to go ahead and cut that off with our razor blade, utility blade, to square up to the rest of the roof. Also, to copy the roof, I'm going to be staggering the shingles back and forth just to keep everything looking the same. Here I'm using a straight edge. When I slice it off, just makes the cut a little bit easier. Some things to note are keep your hands away from it, obviously. You could slice a finger. It works a little better if they're hot. If the shingles are warm, cuts a little smoother. And swap out the blades when they get dull. And once it's cut off, take note of the nailing pattern. I didn't do it here, but after this row, I started nailing about 2 inches away from the edge because the nail was poking down through the fascia, and you could see it sticking out when you were at the ground looking up. And here I'm just showing the second row. We've started at that opposite end now and then ran the shingles all the way through. You can see we've staggered the pattern. It's a 6-inch stagger. I was also measuring every single shingle, making sure we had that 5 and 5 1/4 inch overlap. And we'll do the same at that opposite end. We'll just cut that extra 6 inches off. This can get very tedious as you're measuring every single shingle, but you want that 5 and 5 1/4 inch staggers so that you can overlap the nails. That way you don't have any water leak. I'm pretty sure this is a common practice, but just double check your roof, make sure that's the right dimensions, and then you should be okay to go. And then here I'll just point out, if you don't have the right stagger, when you get to the peak, you may have issues with the ridge shingles overlapping. Also, I'm going to go ahead and show the nailing zone again. It's right here. It's a thicker area, and you can kind of see that the shingle is heavier in this 1-inch strip, and that's where you should be placing your nails. Next, for getting the shingles up there, I just have an extension ladder. I was manhandling them and just dragging 9 at a time. That completes 1 row. Just be careful when you're doing this if you don't have any help. You can also, if you did buy them from the store, I think for extra fee, depending on where you get them, they will have like a crane or a lift that will put them on top of the roof for you. So that's an option. So I'm going to do a few jump cuts, just showing a little progress. I've been working in like between 4 and 6 hour increments. So this did take me a little over a week to get done, just because I was taking breaks and I did a little other fun stuff on the weekend. So here, both sides are done, and we're looking at the ridge line. We'll go ahead and work your way all the way up to the ridge. I did look underneath to check out the pattern of the ridge, which it overlaps. So that's the plan then, to work the south side over top. So we'll start with the north, work it up to the top, and then take the south side and then overlap it, and then put the ridge shingles over top of that. I didn't remove any of the other shingles except the ones I showed in the video, so as long as they're relatively flat, you can leave them in place. So I just laid out the shingles to get a placement, and then you can see they'll just kind of overlap one another when you get to the top, but it gives you a little bit of an overlap. And then because the ridge shingles will be cutting from the original shingles, it's roughly 12 inches. So you'll want to see where the two black tar strips are at. You want that distance to be roughly 12 inches between the two there, and that way it will cover up your nails. It'll adhere to the strip. So I'll place that. So it should look something like this. And this is where your placement comes into play. If you're doing between 5 and 5 1/4, as you get to the top, if there's not enough, it won't overlap correctly. So as long as you were following the previous pattern, you should be okay. So here I've got everything nailed down, it's in place, and we just have to put the ridge on top now. So we have it ready to be overlapped, and then we'll go down to the ground and we'll start making cuts, and we'll start placing the shingles all along the top. So I heard there's a couple different ways to do this. You just take your utility blade out and start cutting the shingles. I've seen some guys like to do an angled fit. That's how the original shingles were cut. And you making 2 cuts, but you're just doing a slight diagonal, and that will hide the back part of the shingle underneath the other one. The other way to do it would be to just make a straight cut. Just cut each shingle into thirds. Just make a straight cut down on the line. That's what I ended up doing. I think aesthetically it looks the same, so it's just a little faster, and I wanted to get the project done. As to how many you'll need, I think if I remember the math, I used 10 for every 56 inches. So yeah, you can do the math on that one. I think I ended up cutting like 60 or so, and that covered the ridge line on the roof. Another common practice is to use a starter strip so you can cut a shingle off. That way you got the tacky side towards the front, and then you can nail it down. Or you could use the roof tar, and that's what I ended up doing. You would just nail this first strip down, and then take a new shingle, place that over top, and then nail it in the nailing zone. Like I said, I didn't do that. I just used tar on my first one. So there is a bit of difference in how many nails you need. At least 2 per side. I did about 1 inch away from each side, because that way on your next shingle, you'll nail 2 nails. So each shingle should have 4 total nails in it. Some people say 6. I did 4 on mine. And then the last thing to note is which direction the wind comes from and hits the building. Place the shingles in an orientation where the wind won't get underneath them. So since the wind comes from the west, in my place, I'm going to start on the east side of the building and then work my way backwards. We're going to do the same 5 to 5 1/4 inch spacing, measure that, and then put a nail on each nailing zone about 1 inch from the edge. And here's a picture of that. 2 nails about 1 inch from the edge in the nailing zone. So one tip I figured out while cutting the ridge shingles was if you flip the shingle over and you cut from the back side, it cuts a lot easier than if you're trying to cut through the gravel on the front. All right, so we've worked our way all the way down the ridge, and now we're to the final shingle. Once you get to this final part, what you'll do is just nail on the last one, and then there's no way getting around it, but you just cut one of the shingles off until you just have just the colored side, and then you just drive a few nails into it. Some roofers recommend like a rubberized screw with a grommet. You could also put some tar, some sealant, some silicone, something to cover it up and seal it off. And there you go, all done. Hey, check out another video over here. I've got Amazon links down in the description for all the tools I used. Use those links at no extra cost. You can help support the channel. I really appreciate it. Any other questions or comments, put below. Thanks.